Today, we are diving deep into a story that feels like it's straight out of a tech thriller. It's about a tool called Udio, a revolutionary AI music generator that for a moment felt like the future. But then a massive lawsuit and let's call it a controversial deal with Universal Music Group completely changed the game, and in the process, betrayed thousands of creators seemingly overnight. And that really is the question at the heart of this whole thing. I mean, just imagine it. You pour hundreds, maybe thousands of hours of your life into creating something you're proud of, using a tool you love, only to wake up one morning and find out that the platform has locked you out of your own work. Well, for a whole lot of people, that's not a hypothetical. It's exactly what happened. And make no mistake, this wasn't just some small glitch for a niche app. This quote from Nextlet AI really nails it. The entire AI industry just slammed, headfirst into a legal brick wall. This sent a shockwave through the whole tech community, signaling a massive shift in how these companies are going to have to operate from now on. So, to really get why this felt like such a betrayal, we have to first understand the creative revolution it brought to a screeching halt. Let's take a closer look at the tool that's at the center of this entire firestorm. This is Udio, and for the people who used it, it was pure magic. I mean, you could just type in a simple idea, a mood, a genre, maybe a specific style, and boom, out comes a full, complete song. We're talking instruments, lyrics, vocals, the whole shebang. It was this absolutely incredible tool for everybody, from weekend hobbyists to serious professional musicians. And people didn't just mess around with it. They really invested their time and creativity. We're talking about thousands of users who poured hundreds and hundreds of hours into this thing, building entire albums, entire soundtracks from scratch. For a lot of them, this wasn't just another app. It became their primary creative outlet. But bubbling right under the surface of this creative explosion was a massive, massive problem. Which brings us to the billion-dollar question. The one that would eventually put these AI companies on a head-on collision course with the giants of the music industry. So how in the world did Udio's AI get so good at making music? Well, the ideal way, the right way, is to train your AI on a huge library of fully licensed music where the original artists actually get paid for their work. But the reality? Well, the reality for a lot of these early AI companies was to just scrape millions of copyrighted songs right off the internet. No permission asked, and not a single dime paid to the artists who made the music. And as you can probably guess, the people who owned that music were not happy. In fact, they were furious. The biggest record labels on the planet, we're talking Sony, Warner, and Universal Music Group, they all banded together and sued. Their claim was massive copyright infringement. And their core argument? It was simple. It was powerful. It was just one word: theft. And that lawsuit is where the first domino was about to fall. Udio decided to settle its lawsuit with the Universal Music Group. And the terms of that deal? Well, they would come at a very, very steep price for its users. So Udio puts out this public statement, framing the whole thing as a historic partnership. The CEO, Andrew Sanchez, is talking all about empowering artists and getting to work with Universal's incredible catalog. And, on the surface, it sounded pretty good, like a real win-win. But what was in the fine print? That told a very, very different story. Right. So just contrast that corporate announcement with this post from a paying professional user. 10+ hours every single day for 15 months. They built a catalog of over 300 songs, and then one day all of that work was suddenly completely inaccessible. The devastation for the actual creators was immediate, and it was profound. Because this was the reality that was hidden in that shiny press release. With absolutely no warning, no grace period, Udio just announced that downloads were disabled. The button was just gone. Everything that users had ever created, everything they had poured their souls into, was now trapped inside the platform. The community, as you can imagine, absolutely exploded with anger. The backlash was so intense, Udio had to do something. So they offered this frantic 48-hour window for people to try and download their entire song history. It was a mad dash, a desperate scramble to save what was, for many, their life's work. But honestly, for a lot of people, the trust was already broken, permanently. And this whole situation, it paints a much, much bigger picture. See, the Udio case isn't just about one app screwing over its users. It's setting a huge precedent for the entire generative AI industry. It's like we're all being welcomed into a new, much more controlled era. The message could not be any clearer. The Wild West days of AI, where companies could just do whatever they wanted, those days are over. Done. The new rule for every AI company is simple. You either pay up and license your training data properly, or you risk getting sued into oblivion. And look, this isn't some one-off thing with Udio. Check out this quote. It's from a similar deal that Universal Music Group made with another huge AI company, Stability AI. UMG is drawing a line in the sand. They are making it totally unambiguous. They will only partner with AI companies that use responsibly trained models. This is the new standard, folks. So where does all this leave us? Well, it kind of feels like we're standing at a fork in the road, looking at two very different futures for AI and creativity. Path one is the walled garden. It's the path Udio is on now. Sure, artists get paid, but creative freedom gets squeezed. It's limited to licensed styles on pre-approved platforms. Path two is a bit more dystopian. It's the copyright machine, a future where AI is used to automatically hunt down and send takedown notices to any creator's music sounds even a little bit similar to something in the catalog. And all of this leads us right back to the central dilemma that every single artist, creator, and user of these powerful new technologies is now facing. What does this actually mean for the future of your art? So, what's the big takeaway here? Well, first off, it means that anything you create on one of these generative AI platforms is potentially vulnerable. Second, these massive copyright wars, they are not even close to being over. In fact, they're just getting started. Third, the very idea of who owns a piece of art is being redefined right in front of our eyes. And finally, what we're seeing is this huge growing tension between this amazing goal of making creative tools accessible to everyone and the absolutely critical need to protect the rights of the artists who are already out there. And when you put it all together, it leaves us with this one, ultimate, massive, unresolved question. Is it the tech companies? Is it the giant record labels? Is it the individual artists, the users, or maybe the courts? Who really gets to decide the future of art in the age of AI? It's a question that, for right now, has no easy answer at all.